Guys, welcome to this channel. So this channel is called Astro King. So on this channel called the Astro King, I am the Astro King. Like literally my last name is King. So on this channel we'll be talking mostly about astrology and zodiac signs. Now this is not a popular thing everyone has heard through the entire world. I'm sure all of you have heard of zodiac signs. I mean, giving the seasons and months through the years and everything like that, like it's popular among everyone. So in this video, this will be mostly talking about what is a birth chart, and I'll be going through all of the planet signs and what do they mean for humans and us and our nature. So with this, I'll just be going through the sun sign all the way to the Pluto sign, and you'll see how that reflects you in a way. Also, if you want to do this with me, you could probably get out your chart also and also go through it and see how it reflects you, or you could make your own chart. That would be pretty cool. So I have my chart right here. These are my planet signs. So full disclosure, we're not going to be doing the houses. I'll save that for another day, for another video, so stay tuned for that. But today we're going to be looking at the planet signs, so just to make you aware. So first I'm starting off with the sun sign. Now, your sun sign is your ego, the way you view the world, your emotions, your feeling bubbling down to the surface, all of your, just feelings, happiness, just how you want to move, the person you're striving to be, knowingly or unknowingly. So with this, if you don't know a lot about astrology, you can find out your zodiac sign, your sun sign by your birth. So by whatever month or of the day you were born on, that is your zodiac signs. I know I'm a Gemini, and mostly everything that I've ever studied about Gemini really fits me a lot, I think. So yeah, my sun sign would be Gemini. Your sun sign, the reason why it's called a sun sign is because it reflects you, your inner happiness, your inner sun. Like, this is why the symbol for the sun in astrology is a circle, but with a dot inside of it. Think of the circle as everyone around you, but think as a dot as you, your personal self. So that's how it makes the symbol very unique and towards you. So good, you understand what a sun sign is now. So I have my sun in Gemini in the 11th house at 27 degrees and 16 minutes. And also, full disclosure, sometimes I believe that these, degrees sometimes don't always be right, because it's like very thin on a scale, and it could be different, at that time it could switch in just a second. So it's not always the right thing, but the degrees and the minutes, they don't really make any sense anyways, but you just focus on the planet and the sign. So if you are a Gemini, the way your sun sign, the way you would view the world is you would, normally be very imaginative, very artistic, you're very talkative, responsive, you're quick to learn something, you guys are quite intelligent, you guys are happy, exciting, you possess, a bit of, a happy inner child, you guys are just, bright fellas. But I do believe that you guys can sometimes be quite overwhelming, manipulative, deceitful, a bit teasing towards others, a bit critical at some points. You guys also do have a lot of weaknesses like nerves and, indecision. You guys cannot make any decisions, I'm not just blaming you guys. I'm putting this on myself too, that since I do have a Gemini sun, I do tend to be quite critical towards others sometimes. That is why I love to keep myself in great shape, especially when I go to school, because I want to impress the girls. I always make my effort for me to smell good. I always love to keep my hair in great shape. I always love for my appearance to look pretty well, which is something that a lot of the boys in my class don't do. So I love to think of myself as pretty well kept with myself. Okay, moving on to the second sign, and that is your ascendant or your rising sign. Your rising sign is more of a physical thing aside from your sun sign. Your rising sign is your physical outlook on life. It's about the way you look, the way you act, the way also you have your inner emotions in some way, and how your heart and brain thinks. And also, your rising sign can have a way on your well-being, what you're prone to, and your health. So also keep that in mind. That is a very important information that you have to collect. So I know my rising sign is Leo at 24 degrees and 42 minutes. So you can find out your rising sign by having your exact time of birth. In fact, to find out your whole entire birth chart, you need your birth day, you need your birth year, your exact birth time, because if you choose anything aside from your birth time that was exactly right next to your actual birth time, it might not be the same. So it could switch in any 3 seconds, minutes, or hours. So we have to keep track of it. So yeah, that's how you find out your rising sign. Your rising sign is very interesting because it's just like the way you view the world in a way, just like your sun sign. A lot more details and it goes deeper. And a lot of it is pretty accurate to me. I think so. I never even knew a rising sign even existed until I started to study more about astrology, and I found out an ascendant actually existed. So after that, I studied it a bit more and found out my rising sign, and it's pretty accurate. Next is your moon sign, and that is your moon sign is mostly the sign that reflects how the moon works. So the moon is usually that inner feeling you have, your desires, your needs, the things that you just can't control under the surface. The things that your desires, the things you absolutely want in life. So in a way, your moon sign is kind of like the sign that you can't control inner, you know? So I know I have a Virgo moon, and I've always wondered in my life, why am I so critical towards others? Like, I usually, if I really don't like someone, I've made up my mind that I don't want to be in their presence, I don't want to be very close to them, but I usually think to myself, maybe I'm being too judgmental. And, you know, if you think of Virgos, they're very judgmental and critical. So it's almost like that Virgo energy in me is just bubbling towards the surface and trying to let itself out. So I think the criticism is something I need to work on very, very much. I think I have Virgo in the first house at 19 degrees and 42 minutes. Okay, next is your Mercury sign. So Mercury is the planet that mostly talks about communication, transportation, and flightiness, and just adaptability and flexibility. This is why Mercury has to do mostly with mutable energy and it rules to both signs, Virgo and Gemini. And if you think about Gemini and Virgo, they are the signs that they're all about communication, they're all about criticism, they're all about intellect, and also they're all about flexibility and adaptability. So both of them, being mutable signs and being ruled by Mercury, they are quite identical to one another. So you have to know the difference. I know I have Gemini and Mercury in the 10th house at 15 degrees and 33 minutes. So next is your Venus sign. Venus is the planet that mostly talks about love, attraction, money, the most beautiful things in life, and not to mention beauty. So, with this, Venus rules the signs Libra and Taurus. And if you think of Libra and Taurus, they are both signs that are, who have a very strong desire for the beautiful things in life. Like, they will be these people that you always see with tons of money, very rich, always wear the most glamorous things, look the best, and dress to impress others. It's just because Venus, like I said, is the planet of beauty and attraction. So with this, Libras and Tauruses, they can be quite attractive. I know I have Leo in Venus in the 12th house, 4 degrees, 57 minutes. Mars, I have Mars in Virgo. Now, Mars is the planet mostly talking about more of the worst things in the world, such as your temper, aggression, your anger, your moodiness, your darkness, and sex. So, with this, Mars does rule the signs Aries and Scorpio. And if you think of Scorpio, they're the sign that's mostly talking about sexual intentions. And then Aries is the sign that's mostly aggressive, angry, moody, and, just dark sometimes. So I think these are a thing that these signs need to control. And whatever sign is in Mars within your chart, that rules all those affairs and anger issues. So look out for this. So like I said, I have Virgo within the first house in Mars, and then 6 degrees, 3 minutes. Next is Jupiter. Jupiter is the sign that acts as the opposite of Mars. This is because Jupiter is the planet of good luck, good fortune, all the nice things in your life going on, your happiness, your moral high grounds, your strength, your big thinking, and your critical thinking skills. I have Aries in Jupiter in the 8th house at 1 degrees and 28 minutes. Like, Jupiter rules the sign Sagittarius. And if you think of Sagittarians are very, very big thinkers. They tend sorry, speaking too fast. They tend to think very reasonably, and they want to make the decisions that make more sense to them. Usually the decisions that make more sense to them are mostly the more reasonable decisions. So they just like to go with the decisions that cost less confrontation. So they're more big thinkers. They tend to live long life. And they tend to be wise too. So yeah, connected with Sagittarius. Next is Saturn. Saturn acts as the adulting planet, because this planet is the planet that has to do with, adulthood. This planet is the planet that has to do with mostly dealing with kids, parenting, dealing with your boss at work, we're dealing with following the laws, going to jail sometimes for bad things, or, having a lot of responsibilities, having to sustain the house and everyone inside of it. So this planet is the planet that mostly talks about your adulthood and how you are as an adult and sustaining yourself. I have Virgo in Saturn in the 2nd house at 28 degrees and 3 minutes. Next is Uranus. Get it? Uranus. Okay, I'm not trying to be funny. Okay, Uranus is the planet that mostly talks about rebellion, because this planet rules the sign Aquarius. And if you think of Aquarius, these people are quite rebellious. They tend to choose their own path. They tend to be stubborn. They don't like to listen to people very much. And Uranus is the same way. Uranus is the planet of, innovation, of, thinking or leading into your own path, not trying to take anybody's opinion into consideration very much. And I noticed this with me, that I can be very rebellious sometimes or stubborn sometimes. And it's funny because I have Aries ruling Uranus. And I know Aries can be a very rebellious sign. A very, very rebellious sign. Anyways, I have Aries in the 8th house, 0 degrees and 29 minutes. Neptune is the planet that mostly talks about, well, the reflector, which is you. It talks about, how about your fluency, your graciousness, your musicality, your talents. Let's say that talents. This planet is ruled by the sign Pisces, and if you think of Pisceans, they are very artistic, imaginative, very, very social. Pisces acts as the reflector in the zodiac, so it makes a lot of sense. I have Aquarius ruling Neptune at in the 7th house at 28 degrees and 37 minutes. And last but not least, we have Pluto. Pluto is known as the transform planet, because Pluto is the planet that you mostly, when you think about getting out of the kid age and you're going into the teenage age, into adult age, you tend to change more, your life starts to change. Like when you get into a teenager age, you tend to rebel against your parents and go on your own path. Sometimes that doesn't happen all the time, but most of the time. And you just tend to grow up and think more maturely. So think of Pluto as the planet that you're transforming into, the planet that brings you up, that makes you grow up. I have Capricorn ruling that in the 5th house at 4 degrees and 17 minutes. So what I just want to add here is that all of these signs, mean something for all of you for the planet. So I'll soon make a video talking about what the planets mean and also the houses. I'll also make a video making how do you make a birth chart. So stay tuned for those videos very, very soon.